Hi, Assalamu alaikum, bienvenue Senegal. I'm very happy to be here and I love this country. My name is Yrneh GABON. I am from Jamaica. I was born in Jamaica and live in the United States. I represent both the United States and Jamaica. This is my exhibition, the installation ASALTED Intermission, Assaulted Intermission. Welcome. One of the first things that I want you to think about when you think about this installation is to think about letterings. And you think about salt, not as salt in its natural state, but salt as a metaphor for conversation. We all use salt. We all love salt. It's in everything, but how much do we know about salt? The lettering here is Horom, 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 Ndok, Lac Rose. It's about salt from Lac Rose. And the letterings here will tell you about how many people are to be entering the room and just some little saying about climate change. Now let's enter into the actual room, and what we're going to do is pay with salt. Usually we want you to just enter free, but your freedom at this point will be traded. The idea for trade is to look at Africa as a place of trade. Yes? But somehow, I feel like today, she's been traded. So today, we will pay to enter the assaulted intermission. Come along with me. When you enter the installation, you'll be given a spoon, which you will dip into this basket right here, the bucket, and then you will pour here. You could also do this number, and then you enter the installation. One of the first pieces that you'll see in the installation is Lady Lac Rose. Lady Lac Rose. It's the lake painted, and a ceramic figure represents the woman, Lac Rose. It's 7 buckets. 7 buckets of water from Lac Rose, and inside the buckets are these sculptures. And these sculptures are meant to let you think about the miners. The piece was meant to be viewed at different levels. First, you want to go down. The idea for going this low or taking this stand is because I want the viewers to think about community beyond just up here, but community down here. We meet people where they are. The water is from Lac Rose. The blocks, much like this, that's in the water, it's about the building, it's about industrialization, it's about commercialization, it's about the commerciality of the space in which tourists go and the place that was inspiring to me. This entire installation was inspired in 2017. I started working in 2018 on the research, and by the end of 2018, I already knew that I had an exhibition. To your left, Mara's Light. I see this piece as Africa herself, young Africa. She has all the potential. She's born with the DNA of greatness. She's beautiful, she's strong, she's focused, she has her head on her body, she's natural, she's empowering. Around are dragonflies. Now you may ask, why dragonflies? Dragonflies are to me very mythical, but yet scientifically balanced in my work. Dragonflies are the oldest insect known to man. 350 million years, 500 species. They are found everywhere except Antarctica until lately. The dragonfly once had wings up to 20 inches. Today, you see the dragonfly this size. The dragonfly is still a measure of the ecological climate change. The dragonfly starts its life in the water, the air, on the land. My work and my practice is very much about feelings and findings, feelings and facts. The green salt flats. The green salt flats is about the green that the lake in the East Bay of San Francisco changes because of the bacterial algae, which is somewhat very infused with other puritans or other chemicals to create the salt farm in the East Bay of San Francisco, which is in California. This, to me, is feelings. Here is the facts. I have taken the germ or the DNA from that actual lake and infused it, mixed it with the salinity solution with table salt, and inside it's green. If you look inside, you will see the color green, much like the salt. You're looking at a piece that speaks about identity, an identity in a big way. We're very familiarized with boats. Boats were used to take us from Africa and into slavery in the New World. Today, boats has a connection with people, much like myself, diasporians and Africans alike. For young Africans who take boats like these and travel somewhat in this form to get to the west for greener pastures, it breaks my heart, because boatloads of slaves were taken from here into the west, and her children are still not respected. Ecological climate change. If you look at the salts in the spoons here, the spoons were made of bamboo. The salt were from Lac Rose. You can see the water releasing from the salt based on the humidity within the room. Each spoon will be changed. The concept and the idea for the spoons with the Dragonfly is to have 196. There are 196 countries in the world, and each country is a part of the salt industries. The Dragonflies are made with biodegradable resin and bamboo, and the salt and each of the spoon were taken from Lac Rose here. As you can see, the humidity in the room is changing the shapes of the salt. These are the 5 salts that are found from my research and my communication with people of Lac Rose in the lake, and there's only one that can be eaten. The uterus. Inside the exhibition, there is a big conversation about the empowerment of the woman, and women are seen as center of the village. I want you to think about the first time that you think salt comes into your life. It comes into your life as a baby inside your mother's womb. This is actually feelings and facts. There's actual salt on the work, and as the temperature of the room changes, the work releases water from the salt, and it can be seen raining on the actual piece. There's no conversation that I would have in my work without the conversation of colonization, decolonization, and self-colonization. It is all across Africa, because Africa still has a level of misunderstanding and a level of understanding that needs conversation. This speaks to colonization, decolonization, and self-colonization. It is salted, but we have to have these conversations. Aphasia. When you look at this erasure, when you look at this piece, it looks like you're looking at just a wall of bags. Indeed, it's 400 bags of salt, 400 bags within the room, which takes you into the 400 years of the Atlantic slave trade. When you look at this piece, you think about the covering up of history, the covering up of identity, the covering up of so many things that we choose to do with what we call whiteness. We have to have the conversation, what is revealed and what is covered. On the table are the different characteristics. Salt. This is Lac Rose salt that was grown in California. The salt was taken in 2017. You can still see some of the redness from that salt. These are table salts at different time that has been changed based on the season and the temperature. This is actually salt within the actual road, the asphalt. This is how salt attacks the actual road. It attacks ceramic. These are salted water that was collected in 2017 and taken to the US and taken back. The same for this table. They are salt that has been growing. You can see right here, this is the table salt actually growing outside from inside through the bottle. This has been growing since 2017. These bottles with little dragonflies are meant to be part of the post work, where the actual work becomes part of what will sustain or create some kind of resources for that community, because the work must do something beyond being aesthetics. It must serve a function, a basic function. And in this case, I am thinking and working on a collaboration where I could collaborate with medical aid to bring that aid to Lac Rose and to have people get checked, and also to do further research to understand what's in the water and how safe is the water, and also what's in the salt, and also what kind of salts are actually in Lac Rose. So the research continues as it relates to Lac Rose. There are the 7 laborers. The 7 laborers, they're right here. These pieces are meant to be viewed, again, from this height. You have to meet people where they are. When you see the pieces at this level, you're able to interact with them on the level in which they are placed. This is about bringing the institution and community to the table. We have to get beyond ourselves. We have to be able to understand that not everyone has university or tertiary education, but intuitively are equally educated and understand how the basic function of life is. We have to be able to meet each other where we are. The films that you're looking at are films. The Love I Feel is about my connection and appreciation for Senegal and going to Lac Rose. The film on your left, Salt of Negritude, is about actually going into the water and also actually engaging the physicality of labor within those that works at Lac Rose. Here, this is knife that's been used for eating. This knife has been soaked in the solution 3 years ago and has been taken out a year and a half to travel here, and this is the result. This shows you that salt is actually a killer. Salt is the highest killer for people of color when it comes to hypertension. This speaks to San Francisco, California. We have a lot of wildfires in California, and this piece is about the wildfires and carbon emission. Also, I want to bring in conversation about the murdering and the killing of people of color, black people, Africans within the diaspora, most times or most recently in the United States where I live. And you can see the black hands coming out of the earth and the blood on the earth. Identity. The bags that you're looking at are nothing that says the people who works in the location of Lac Rose and pack these bags, but it has a family on it. These are the people. We have to represent, but we have to stand up for a proper identity or identification or representation and make that known that it is not something that we take lightly. Misrepresentation is a part of miseducation. The idea of having these two sculptures, the woman and the man, in distance, much like this, is about how distant we are in terms of the black family. We are either one place or the other. It is time that we come together. Baptism by fire, the blown glass, the metal, the ceramic vessel, it's about the uprooting, the misplacing, the replacing of black people. There are 5 countries that colonized the world. Our start with yet of. And these countries have benefited greatly from Africa. She's still feeding the world. Her black hands are still handing baskets of diamond, baskets of mineral, baskets of people. It is happening as we speak. And it is continuing. And we must recognize her greatness. This is about that injustice and that greatness. It's the squeezing and reforming and reconfiguring and digging and turning of the black people. We have to. We have to start thinking. Doing more and less talking. These 5 pieces are meant to bring an arc somewhat to the narrative. The black salt is an actual piece that salt is on, which has been placed on in this piece since 2019. The salt melts and drips water. You can see the dripping of the water on the ground where it pats the earth. Based on the humidity in the room, the piece responds to the dripping. The miseducation is about the fear, yet still feeling free, and the limitations that are placed on us. The headman. It's about being in charge, but not in charge. The headman is about the man who makes the decision but not have any power, so is more like a control figure. So you literally are about one thing, but you do something else based on the person that you're working for. Yes, this piece is about the wall of limitations. I think a lot about youth, and I think a lot about how youth see the world in places like Africa, and young youth with dreams and energy and strength, and the yearn for the West or something better, and carries yet still the tradition of the forefathers or the culture within the space in which that youth, particular young men, are born. This piece speaks to that. It's called The Dreamer. Gentle people of San Francisco. The upside down bucket is about the liberation and the freedom of living your best life the way you choose. You are not prescribing to anyone as belief or anyone as idea, but that of yourself. It's about independent thinking. It's about celebration of self. And this piece is about that. The piece that takes you outside of the room is about breaking the vessel and having the conversation about whiteness, about injustice, socially, politically, historically, and ecologically. How do we bring those narratives to the table? We have them, or we bring them to the table, much as how we season our food. We have other conversation. We speak truth, 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 truth. This exhibition is about the conversation we don't have. It's never going to go away. It's never going to go away. We have to have them. It's like being able to address situation. Nothing works itself out. People work things out. The Assaulted Intermission is here at the Dakar Biennale, and I am grateful and thankful to all the people who have given so much for it to be here. I thank the folks of the Biennale, I thank the curatorial team, I thank Dr. CCH Pounder Kone and the Kone family who first introduced me to Dakar, and Madam Hadi, who has been an amazing, amazing tower of strength and educator within this place. There's so many in the village that I'd like to thank, but please know that this installation is dedicated to you and the people of Lac Rose. Thank you.